Well, it's November again. Most of the heritage railways, theme parks and other attractions have shut for the winter. Everyone's gone back to work and school after the nice summer weather and October half-term. The clocks have gone back an hour, so now the evenings are darker than they need to be. It's cold, it's wet, it's dark, it's miserable. There's horrible, wet, sticky leaves everywhere, and fireworks as well, disturbing people like me. Nothing is good about November. Absolutely nothing.
Hang on, if it's November, then that means... That's right, my lovely subscribers, Spyrovember's back. My annual celebration of my favourite video game franchise of all time, Spyro the Dragon. At least there's one thing I can look forward to in November now. So, to kick off this year's Spyrovember, I thought I'd do my first ever tier list video on this channel, where I'm going to be putting every single level in the original Spyro PS1 trilogy into a tier list. Now, this was originally going to cover Enter the Dragonfly and A Hero's Tale as well, but I spent more than enough time gathering all these images together for this tier list, and I can't really save tier lists and come back to them later, because then I just gotta put in all the images again. So, I've decided just to settle on ranking all the levels of the original trilogy. If there's enough demand, I could probably do a sequel to this video with Enter the Dragonfly and A Hero's Tale, but for now we're just gonna do the original PS1 trilogy. I guess I don't have anything more to say other than let's get into the rankings. So starting with Spyro 1, the very first level you get into, we have the Artisan's World. Now, Artisans isn't anything overly spectacular, but it's still excellent. There's lots of space to run around in, get used to Spyro's controls, there's a few dragons to rescue, and the level itself is nicely designed. And there's some very nice architecture and theming all throughout the level. So it's not quite S tier, but it's still a very solid start to the original Spyro the Dragon. So it could have been a little bit bigger, but doesn't matter if it isn't. So let's put the Artisan's World in A tier. Next up, we have Stone Hill. Stone Hill's very open, lots of room to run around in, but it does kind of feel very empty, especially once you've defeated all the enemies. Still some very nice architecture and a very pleasant world overall. So, still not quite S tier once again, but still a very solid world. Once again, not too different from Artisans, just very solid and very fun to run around in. So, Stone Hill can also go in A tier. Dark Hollow, now, this one's a little bit different. Dark Hollow, as its name suggests, is dark, but it is nicely lit, though not quite as welcoming as Artisans and Stonehill, because of its darkness, and also it's smaller than those two worlds, and there's not as many secrets to find there, and not as much space to run around in. So, not amazing Dark Hollow, but still really good. So, we'll put Dark Hollow in B tier. Now, Town Square. This is a really fun one. I love the architecture of Town Square. There's lots of nice decoration around. Lots of fun gliding challenges in Town Square. And just a very visually appealing level. It's very well designed. And yeah, this is the first proper WoW level in Spyro 1, in my opinion anyway. The first one that truly makes you say wow. So for that reason, Town Square is going into S tier for the first one. Next up, we have Sunny Flight. And oh man, Sunny Flight is just the perfect level to get you started in Spyro's flight levels. Perfect level to get used to Spyro's flight controls. It's really fun to fly around and get all the items you need. And also, there's a railway line that runs throughout Sunny Flight. And you know me, I love trains a lot, hence my channel name. And because of how fun Sunny Flight is, and because, you know, it's got a train in it, Sunny Flight is also going into S tier. Now for the first boss, Toasty. Yeah, as I said in my top 10 unpopular Spyro opinions video, the boss battle against Toasty is a bit of a joke, literally, because there's a sheep hiding in a scarecrow costume. And the level itself is very small, and the dog enemies are quite hard to avoid, especially if you don't know what you're doing. So, and as a result, it can make the level very frustrating and not worth Toasty's boss fight once you get past all the dogs that try to squash you. So yeah, not an amazing first impression when it comes to boss fights in this game at all. So yeah, not very good. But it's nice to look at the level at least, and some thought did go into its design at least. So, Toasty can go into D tier. Now, Peacekeepers is where it gets really good again. The very rocky, canyon-like atmosphere of the Peacekeepers' homeworld is brilliant, and music is just very bombastic and military-like. And the level is very wide and open, very fun to run around in. Lots of fun enemies to defeat in it. And I love how some of the enemies hide in the tents, and then when you burn the tents, they try to moon you, only for you to just breathe fire at them and defeat them. So yes, another amazing level, Peacekeepers. Peacekeepers can go into S tier. Now as for Dry Canyon, that would also go into S tier if it wasn't kind of easy to get lost in. Yeah, especially for new players when traveling around Dry Canyon, it can be a bit easy to get lost in it, and it can take a while to try and figure out what you're supposed to do in this level. Because, for example, there's a glide that you need to do, that the platform you need to land on is hidden out of view behind one of the canyon walls. So, for that reason, otherwise, Dry Canyon is still another amazing world, just a little bit hard to navigate and easy to get lost in, especially if you're new to Spyro. So I can't quite put it in S tier, but I'll put Dry Canyon in A tier. Now, as for Cliff Town, I'm not too sure. It's a very nice level with some very interesting enemies in it, but I don't know, there's just something about Cliff Town that doesn't quite make it S tier. still brilliant. It's still a brilliant level, brilliantly designed with very fun glides and all, but I don't know what it is about Cliff Town. It's just there's something about it that I can't quite put my finger on that doesn't quite make it S tier. Maybe it's the fact that it's a little bit smaller than some of the other levels. I really don't know, but I really don't think I can put it in S tier. For some reason. I don't know what it is, I just don't think I can put it in S tier. So, Cliff Town is going into A tier. Now, what was the name of this level again? Ice something? I think it's called Ice Cavern, but I just need to remind myself. Hang on. Yeah, it is called Ice Cavern. I should have known. I'm an idiot. That just makes me not able to put it into S tier. I don't know if it's like the design of the level and how you kind of like go around the edge of the level rather than through the middle, and also the platforms are a little bit hard to glide onto if you're new to the game and don't know exactly where the jump off points are. But other than that, it's still an extremely fun level, but again, I just can't quite put it into S tier. So, Ice Cavern is also going into A tier. Now, Night Flight, again, there's something about the claustrophobia of this level. Rather than being like this big open area that you can just fly around as you wish, it's kind of split off into several different sections separated by train tunnels, and it makes Night Flight feel a little bit smaller and a little bit more claustrophobic than Sunny Flight. So again, for that reason, I can't put it into S tier. That's just one thing stopping me from putting it into S tier. But I will put Night Flight into A tier. Now, as for Dr. Shem, as I explained in my unpopular Spyro Opinions video, Dr. Shemp's boss fight really isn't that bad. It's actually quite challenging, especially for new Spyro players. And Dr. Shemp's level design, despite its small size, is actually quite good. It's actually fairly fun to run, jump, and glide around Dr. Shemp. I don't think I can put it in A tier, let alone S tier though. So I'm gonna put Dr. Shemp into B tier. Now, as for Magic Crafters, oh boy, do I love the Magic Crafters worlds. The mountains are just so beautiful, and the fact that there's lots of fog around them as well. Yeah, for a PS1 level, Magic Crafters is just so beautiful. The music adds to the atmosphere of the level. It's just very peaceful. It's just a very peaceful and relaxing homeworld to be in, and extremely beautiful. I just love the majority, not all, but the majority of the Spyro Trilogy's mountainous worlds. Yes, I just adore the Magic Crafters homeworld. And so, for that reason, Magic Crafters goes into S tier. Alpine Ridge, again, very beautiful level design. There's a lovely waterfall there as well. Lovely high mountains, beautiful sky backdrop, and overall just a very nice atmosphere. It is crowded with enemies though, but they're all very fun to just knock out and charge into and flame and charge and all that. So, again, I think I'm gonna have to put Alpine Ridge into S tier. I would also put High Caves into S tier, but like, it can be very easy to fall into the ravine if you get the jumps you have to do there even slightly wrong. If you get the supercharged jumps you need to do to get across the high caves even slightly wrong, it can fuck you up a little bit. And also, those giant scorpion spider things are just a pain in the arse. They will literally come after you, and you can't take them down until you find the fairy that gives you the enhanced fire breath. And also, they could be a little bit scary for first-time players. So, I'm gonna have to put High Caves in A tier. It would be S tier if it weren't for those two factors. Now, Wizard Peak, again, very fun level to fly up to run and glide around. Very beautiful. I think Wizard Peak just about makes it into S tier. As for Crystal Flight, again, very fun, but there's just something about it that doesn't quite make it S tier. I don't know what it is, it just doesn't quite fit into S tier. I don't know what it is, but I'm just gonna have to put it in A tier. I don't know what it is with some of these levels, and me feeling like they belong more in A tier than S tier. As for Blowhard, yeah, the level's very fun to platform around, but he's a bit easy to take down, Blowhard. I mean, not really that bad, but he's a bit easy to take down. But at least the level, while very small, is still fun to platform around, and being a mountainous level is very beautiful. So, with that in mind, I'm going to put Blowhard's level into C tier. As for the Beastmaker's world, yes, it's large and very fun to run around, and there's lots of enemies to take down and lots of jumping and platforming challenges. The whole dark and dingy vibe of it really brings Beastmakers down for me. I'm just not overly keen on Spyro's darker and more dingy worlds, like Beastmakers and Spooky Swamp. So, but it's still a very fun level to run around and platform around and defeat all the enemies in. And for those reasons, I'm gonna put Beastmakers into B tier. What's this one called again? Jesus, you'd think I'd know all the names of the Spyro levels by now, but... Ah yes, Terrace Village, that's it. God, I'm an idiot. So yeah, Terrace Village, not quite as dark and dingy as the Beastmaker's homeworld, and also a larger level, with lots of enemies to defeat and lots of platforming challenges. Yeah, Terrace Village is a lot more fun to play through than the Beastmaker's homeworld, but I still don't think it belongs in S tier though. The dark and dingy vibe of it still has a dark and dingy vibe to it, so it doesn't quite belong in S tier, so let's put Terrace Village in A. Moving on, we have Misty Bog next. Slightly smaller world than the others, but the music absolutely slaps. The enemies, though, can be absolute bitches in Misty Bog. You can't really charge them. Well, you can, but those damn attack frogs just smack you all the time. They can be really hard to avoid, and it's really hard to, like, properly take down like bowling pins, like I love to do with all the other enemies in the Spyro games. And also, Misty Bog is slightly smaller than some of the other levels, but it's still a very fun level to platform around in, and I do love the music in it. I don't think, because of how infuriating some of the enemies in Misty Bog can be though, I don't think it quite belongs in A tier, so I'm gonna put Misty Bog in B tier. Next up is Treetops. Amazingly designed level, very fun to supercharge around and glide through, but the obvious problem with Treetops is that you can just keep falling down it over and over and over again if you don't know exactly where the jump-off points are and exactly how high you need to jump in order to reach the highest platforms and exactly where you need to jump. But once you've mastered Treetops, it's still a very... It becomes an extremely fun level to play. But for newcomer players, Treetops can be a very infuriating level. Treetops is like one of those 50-50 levels. Some people love it, but an equal number of people hate it. For me, though, I lean more towards loving it, but it's definitely not one of my favourites. So, amazing, but definitely not one of my favourites, so Treetops is going to go into A tier. If memory serves, Wild Flight is the smallest of Spyro 1's flight levels. Like Night Flight, it's separated into different sections by cuttings and tunnels, and it just makes it feel smaller and more claustrophobic and a little bit harder to fly through than a few of the other flight levels in Spyro 1. Still a good and very fun flight level, but not quite on the level of the other flight levels. So Wild Flight can also go into B tier. Next up is Metalhead. As I said in my unpopular Spyro opinions video, Metalhead actually provides a nice challenge. You can't attack him directly, so you have to take down the electricity poles that power him. A very unique concept for a boss fight, and the level itself is quite large. There's lots of hidden places to look for treasure in, lots of other enemies to take down before you reach Metalhead himself. It's just a well-designed, large, and very fun level with a unique boss fight concept, but dark and dingy vibe. Boss fight could have been better. So, I think Metalhead's level also belongs in B tier. Moving on, we now have Dreamweavers. And much like Magic Crafters, Dreamweavers is simply beautiful. The glides are easy and very fun, the sky backdrop's amazing. Look at all that green, purple, and orange, and how all that light just reflects off the clouds. It's beautiful. And the architecture of the castles in the Dreamweavers world is just so beautiful. Yeah, like Magic Crafters, Dreamweavers is just a very beautiful, peaceful, and relaxing world. Especially once you've taken out all the enemies, it's just so fun to run and glide around in. So, because it's one of my favourites, Dreamweavers goes in S. Oh, whoops. High Caves. Yeah, it's a very fun level. Fun to explore and knock out all of the nightmare creatures, but again, dark, dingy, a little bit claustrophobic, so I can't quite put it in S, so High Caves goes into A. Now Lofty Castle's a very fun one. Again, very fun to glide between all the floating islands, lovely architecture, very solidly designed for a PS1 level, very well thought out. Again, extremely fun Lofty Castle, so it can also go into S tier. Next up is Haunted Towers. Again, very fun, very clever with how you have to find the flame power-up fairies to kiss you and enhance your fire breath. Some very fun, supercharged jumping and platforming challenges, but a little bit smaller and a little bit harder to navigate, and I can see why some first-time players will get lost in a Haunted Castle. Wait, is that what it's called? Haunted Castle? Oh my god. No! Haunted Towers, that's it. Jesus Christ, Train Lover. Why can't you just remember the names of these? Yeah, Haunted Towers. Again, very fun, but not quite S tier. Haunted Towers goes into A tier. Next, we have Crystal Flight. No, we've already done Crystal Flight. Icy Flight, oh my god. Yeah, with so many levels to go through in all three Spyro games, it's so easy to get them mixed up. Yeah, again, Crystal Flight is... No! Icy Flight. Icy Flight is quite small, quite claustrophobic, cut off from some other parts of it, but still a very fun flight level, with a lot of fun items to get and challenges it throws at you. So, again, not quite S tier, but Icy Flight I can put in A tier. Jacques. Now this one's a very fun and large level. As I said in the unpopular Spyro Opinions video, Jacques' projectiles can be quite hard to avoid, so... And also, this mountainous level's also very large. There's lots to look out for, lots of enemies to take down. Again, some very, very fun gliding and platforming challenges. But it's still not perfect, so... Again, it's going into A tier. Nork Nexus, yeah, Nork Nexus is pretty much nothing. It's just a hub world with no enemies, and all you can do in it is refill refill Sparks' health with the rats that scuttle around here. Just run into them, take them down, they somehow spawn butterflies, and Sparks eats them. There's not even any enemies to take down like there are in all the other homeworlds in this game. And all it is just a few Nork heads and the dock where the balloon lands that takes you between the homeworlds. So yeah, hardly anything to this world at all, nothing to say about it, so Nork Nexus, that goes into D tier. Nork Cove's a very fun level, very linear, you gotta get past all the Norks that are throwing stuff at you. Very intense, it can be very intense, and there's a lot to watch out for in both Nork Cove and Twilight Harbor for some reason. Yeah, both are very fun obstacle courses for Spyro to complete before he can challenge Nasty Nork. So, I think both Nork Cove and Twilight Harbor, they can both go into A tier. Again, not perfect, but still incredibly fun. Now, as for Nasty Nork himself, very fun to run around, get all the keys you need to reach Nasty. Then it's fun to run around that huge track and chase Nasty himself, being careful not to fall into the purple goo. And then you have to glide over all that lava onto the platforms that are slowly retracting before you finally take down Nasty himself after only giving him 2 hits. Not really a traditional boss fight, but still quite a fun one, but it can be a bit infuriating and also a bit too short for some people, especially, yeah, it can be a little bit infuriating because it is easy to fall off the platforms into the purple goo or the lava if you're not careful. So yeah, again, not perfect, but fun. I think Nasty Nork's level belongs in B tier. As for Nasty's loot, oh man, Nasty's loot's a fun reward for 100%ing Spyro 1. You get to fly around this massive arena. You're not on a time limit, you don't have limited glide distance. You can just fly all around, collecting all the treasure, getting higher and higher up the level, the more treasure you get, and the more areas you unlock. And you have a few other Norks you can defeat to get more keys to access higher parts of the level. It's just an extremely fun finale to an amazing opening to the Spyro Trilogy. So yes, very, very fun bonus level, Nasty's Loot. Definitely another one of my favourites. So Nasty's Loot goes into S tier. And with that, we've now covered all the levels in Spyro 1, so on to Spyro 2. Glimmer, not an amazing opening level to Spyro 2, but still a very fun one. It can feel a bit small with, like, again, several separated areas, so it can feel a bit small, a bit claustrophobic, but it... And also the mind worker rats that work there, their voices can be a little bit grating on the nerves, I'll say, but still, like Artisans, a very solid opening level, but there was definitely some room for improvement with Glimmer. Glimmer goes into A tier. Now, as for Summer Forest, oh my god, Summer Forest, and indeed the other two Spyro 2 homeworlds are so incredible. They're so beautiful. The music's relaxing and peaceful. Scenery's amazing. Architecture of the buildings is brilliant. It's just amazing what what the team in Insomniac could do with PS1 hardware in terms of the level design. It's just absolutely amazing. And the size of the Summer Forest Castle as well, that you get to run all throughout, is amazing. That was incredible by 1999 standards. So, Summer Forest goes into S tier as well. Idle Springs, again, not perfect, but still a very fun level with lots of puzzles and challenges, some fun mini games, and overall, a very fun level. Not quite perfect though, so Idle Springs, A tier. Next up we have Colossus. Very large, lots of space to run around in, very fun, lots of fun mini games. Definitely better than Idle Springs, but there's just something about Colossus. Maybe it's like the snowy vibe of it and how cold it looks. Then again, I could say that for the other ice levels, which some of the ice levels I'm going to be talking about later are going to go into S tier, but there's just something about Colossus that, again, I can't put my finger on, but is preventing me from putting it in S tier. I really don't know what it is. If you guys know what it might be, please do tell me. So, I'm going to have to put Colossus in A tier. As for Sunny Beach, it's a very linear level, feels very tight and claustrophobic. It doesn't really feel quite as sunny as it should be, and not as open as it should be. It's not really like an open beach, there's just like high cliff walls all around. It's still a fun level to travel through though, but I don't know, there's just something about Sunny Beach that, I don't know what it is, but there's something about Sunny Beach that means I can't put it in A tier, let alone S tier. Sunny Beach is just, it's good, but it's like a little bit too linear and claustrophobic for me by Spyro standards, and indeed 3D platforming standards as a whole. So because of that, I'm gonna have to put Sunny Beach in B tier. Hurricos is a really fun one though. It's very open. I know it's dark and dingy, and I said I'm not the keenest on the darker and more dingy worlds, but there's something about it. It is a little bit brighter than some of the other worlds, and some of the platforming challenges and other mini games you get to do in it are so fun, like putting all of the power orbs back into place before those monsters that I can't remember the name of get to them. And yeah, all those platforming challenges that Hurricos provides are also really fun. So I'm gonna be generous and put Hurricos in S tier. Aquaria Towers, again, very linear, quite dark, but it is still very fun, Aquaria Towers, and once you've filled up the world with water again, you can access the much more open area above. And the NPC and enemy designs are extremely interesting in Hurricos. Aquaria Towers. Yeah, Aquaria Towers, very, very, very fun, but still not quite S tier. So Aquaria Towers, that can also go into A. What was this speedway called again? Oh my god. Ocean Speedway, that was it. I'm being such a div today, aren't I? Anyway, Ocean Speedway. Very fun. Lots to take down. Flying through it is very fun. The extra bonus race challenge is also very fun. Yeah, a very solid speedway. Very solid first speedway in Spyro 2. And very, very fun. I'm going to put Ocean Speedway into S tier. Moving on, we have Crush's Dungeon. Already a drastic improvement over the boss fights in Spyro 1. Very fun boss fight. Very challenging. You have to keep adjusting your strategies when taking on Crush as his attacks change. But still not quite perfect. So, Crush's Dungeon is going to go into A tier. Autumn Plains. What can I say about Autumn Plains other than it's immediately going into S tier? It is just so fun. The music is just so calming and peaceful. The whole level is just so open and beautiful. Again, a massive castle to explore. And going all the way to the top of the castle and doing that very long glide all the way back down onto that island. It is just so peaceful, so atmospheric, so ambient, and so wonderful. So yes, Autumn Plains is also S tier. Ski Lost Badlands. There's something about the more primitive and dangerous vibe of Ski Lost Badlands that, again, prevents me from putting it into S tier, but is still a very, very fun level to platform around and complete all the mini-games and challenges in. I don't know what exactly it is. Maybe it's the more dangerous vibe of Ski Lost Badlands that's preventing me from putting it into S tier, but it's still very fun. So Ski Lost Badlands is going into A tier. Crystal Glacier, very fun, lots of gliding, lots of flying around, some very fun mini games, but again, rather claustrophobic compared to some of the other much more open worlds in Spyro, across the Spyro Trilogy. So while Crystal Glacier is another very fun world, I can't quite put it into S tier, but it definitely belongs in A tier. As for Breeze Harbor, I really like the heavy industrial port vibe that Breeze Harbor gives off. Some interesting enemy and NPC designs once again, some fun mini-games, especially Trouble with the Trolley, eh? Yeah, even that mini-game, as I explained in my unpopular opinions video, is very fun, despite how infamous it is. A very fun, open level with a lot of gliding opportunities, lots of fun mini-games, and just a very nice industrial vibe to it, so Breeze Harbor is one of my favourite levels, not just in Spyro 2, but in the whole original trilogy. So Breeze Harbor, you can go into S tier. As for Zephyr, very bright, very fun, lots to explore in Zephyr. Overall, just very fun, but like the area just below it, in a deep, dark canyon, it's just a little bit. It just brings it down a little bit, that darker area down there. Again, I want to put Zephyr in S tier, but something is just telling me that I can't, and I really don't know what it is. So Zephyr, you're going into A tier. As for Scorch, it's fairly fun, I guess, but again, very linear, very compact, very corridor-like. And as I keep explaining, I prefer the more open and free to roam around how you like worlds of the Spyro games than the more restrictive, more linear, corridor-esque worlds. There's just something about the whole vibe of Scorch that keeps me from putting it into A tier, let alone S tier. But it is still good, I guess. And it is still very fun. I think it would be a little bit harsh of me to put it in C tier, so I'm going to put Scorch in B tier. Next up, we have Fracture Hills. Now, the fact that you have to free 6 satyrs, and then each of them plays their bagpipes like a 10-second piece that gradually opens up the temple that you need to get the talisman in. That can take a bit of time and it can slow you down a bit. Other than that though, a very fun level. I love the charging racetrack challenge, even though that can be a little bit infuriating. And again, some very, very interesting and creative enemy designs. But because Fracture Hills can take quite a bit of time to complete, longer than it needs to, again, I can't put it in S tier. For some reason, there's always just one thing about most of the Spyro Trilogy's worlds that are just stopping them from being perfect, from being truly amazing. there's just this one thing that keeps them from being otherwise an absolutely incredible level. So yeah, aside from that one thing, Fracture Hills is incredible. So Fracture Hills goes into A tier. As for Magma Cone, honestly, despite the linear nature of it, I somehow do love Magma Cone. I absolutely adore Magma Cone. Maybe it's the gliding and flight challenges you get to do in this level, and the fact that you get to stop an erupting volcano, and there's a very tense and thrilling vibe to Magma Cone somehow. And the crystal popcorn collecting challenge you get to do with Hunter is extremely fun as well. So yes, there's just something about Magma Cone that I really, really, really love. But again, I just can't put my finger on what it is. But because of how fun Magma Cone is, I think I can put Magma Cone into S tier. I know this tier list ranking may not be making sense to some of you, and I may be contradicting a few of my points, but yeah, I don't know. Anyway, next up we have Shady Oasis. Lots of room to run around in this one, and I do like the visual gag of the hippo eating an apple and eating one apple, becoming massive, and just smashing down the gates like it's nothing, and then immediately shrinking back down. Just a very, very fun visual gag, and also some very fun mini games in this. And I do like how the invincibility power-up allows you to walk on the toxic sludge in Shady Oasis. It is a little bit foggy and hard to navigate. Well, no, it's not hard to navigate at all, but the fog in it is a little bit of a distraction, but other than that, another absolutely amazing and very fun world. So I think Shady Oasis just about makes it into S tier. Next up is Metro Speedway. I do like the very strong Metropolis vibe Metro Speedway has. Lots of fun items to collect and take down in Metro Speedway, and the bonus game of rescuing the mayor's election funds from the cat burglars. That's a very, very fun mini game to do, even though it is a little bit it can be a little bit challenging. Yeah, I think Metro Speedway also belongs in S tier. We still got a good number left, guys, but we are over halfway through now. Is this one called Icy Speedway? Yes, it is. Yeah, again, Icy Speedway, a very fun one. You can charge around this one as well. Very, very fun. And also, the paragliding challenge you get to do with Hunter. Why would Spyro go paragliding when he has wings? That's a little bit questionable, but it's still extremely fun, the bonus paragliding challenge. And also getting to take down all those other enemies in it. And it's also just a very nicely designed flight level as well. Yeah, I think Icy Speedway can also just about go into S tier. Next up we have Gulp's Overlook. Now this would go into S tier if Gulp's boss fight wasn't so damn hard, especially in the Reignited trilogy. But it is very intense, and a very intense and thrilling battle. And I do kind of enjoy it a bit more than Crush's boss fight. But because of how hard it can be, it doesn't quite belong in S tier. So, Gulp's Overlook's going into A tier. Winter Tundra, oh, that's easy. Straight into S tier. Yeah, Winter Tundra, very fun, very relaxing, very beautiful, very fun to run around in. Lots of little secret hidden areas to find treasure in, especially that little pond area towards the back where you can dive down into a cave. And also just a very, very beautiful castle, very nicely designed. And yeah, perfect place to take on Ripto. So yeah, Winter Tundra, S tier. So next we have Mystic Marsh. A little bit smaller than some of the other worlds, but still very open, free to run around in. Lots of very fun challenges, but the enemies can be a bit of a pain in the arse, especially those snail elephants that can just run at you and squash you without warning. Yeah, the enemies could just leap out at you without warning, sometimes in Mystic Marsh if you're not paying full attention. So again, I can't put it in S tier, but it definitely belongs in A tier. Oh, Jesus, what's this next one called? Cloud Temples. Oh, should have known. Yeah, Cloud Temples. Yeah, a very fun level. Some very fun challenges. Lots of fun platforming and gliding once again. Nothing much to say about this level. It's just very open, very fun. Provides some very fun mini games and puzzles as well. So, I think Cloud Temples also just about belongs in S tier. Robotica Farms, a little bit more claustrophobic compared to Cloud Temples and Winter Tundra, but still a very, very fun level. Though again, some of the enemies in Robotica Farms can be dick-headed, and some of the challenge, and a few of the challenge, and like one of the challenges there where you have to try and get these bugs off, like it's like the crops, I think, but that is quite an infuriating challenge. So that, coupled with the slightly smaller size of this level, means again I can't put it in S tier, but it can once again go into A tier. Metropolis, yeah, this is a very unique level. The robots are very friendly. They have very, very nice voice. Yeah, they have very nice voices. The robots. And the challenges of chasing down all the sheep UFOs with the combined Super Flame and Flight power-ups. That's also very, very fun. And also, again, some very interesting enemy designs as well. So, I think Metropolis can go into S tier. Next, we have Canyon Speedway. Very fun bonus challenge with Hunter guiding you, popping all those balloons and airships. It's also a bit of a maze to navigate, and I quite like mazes. And also the music in Canyon Speedway is brilliant. So Canyon Speedway can also go into S tier. Ripto's Arena, an amazing boss fight to finish the game. Ripto's really fun to take on, especially throwing all the orbs, getting the different abilities, and getting to hit Ripto over and over again is very fun. And then the finale with him going on this mechanical eagle and you getting to fly through the air, spitting fireballs at him over and over again until he plunges into the lava. That's just extremely fun and a brilliant way to end Spyro 2. So for that reason, Ripto's Arena goes into S tier. And as for the reward you get, Dragon Shores, it's not quite as good as Nasty's loot in Spyro 1, but it's fun. It's a nice little reward for completing the game and getting enough. Yeah, it's a nice reward for collecting the game, it's a nice reward for completing the game, but not quite as good as Nasty's loot. I think Dragon Shores belongs in A tier. And with that, that's all the levels for Spyro 2. Now we move on to the last game in the trilogy, Spyro 3 Year of the Dragon. Starting off with Sunrise Spring, very peaceful, very charming and beautiful home world to start off in with nice music, very chilled out, very peaceful. Just a very lovely place to get used to Spyro's controls in, especially if Spyro 3 was the first Spyro game you played. I think I'm going to put Sunrise Spring in S tier. Yeah, into S tier you go, Sunrise Spring. Hold on guys, I just need a piss. Jesus, I noticed when I stopped the first recording that I've already been recording for over an hour, so it's a bloody good job I didn't include Enter the Dragonfly and A Hero's Tale as well, because we'd be here for ages if I did. Anyway, Sunny Villa's next. Again, very fun, very open, lots of fun, long distance gliding. Just a very lovely open world. And Sheila's side level is also very fun. So yeah, overall, extremely fun once again. So Sunny Villa into S tier. As for Cloud Spires, again, very open, very Lots of gliding, lots of fun gliding, but again, there's just something about Cloud Spires that I can't put my finger on that doesn't quite make it S tier. I really don't know what it is, I just feel it doesn't really belong in S tier, so Cloud Spires goes into A tier. Moving on, we now have what's this one called? Molten Crater, of course it's called that. Fuck me, I'm an idiot. Yeah, Molten Crater, a bit more linear than the other two worlds, but as you know, as I keep saying, I prefer the more open worlds than the corridor-like ones. Still a very fun world, though. Lots of enemies to take down. Sergeant Bird's side level is also fun, though not his best level, so again, not quite S tier, but Molten Crater is definitely an A tier. As for Seashell Shore, this one, Seashell Shore is just brilliant. A very open level, there's loads of places to swim around in, lots of secret areas to find, loads and loads of fun mini-game challenges. It's just overall a very, very fun level. And there's also some land sections to run around on as well, which are just as fun. And Sheila's side mini-game is also extremely fun. So yeah, Seashell Shore, another one of my favourites in the original Spyro Trilogy, and it too can go into S tier. Sheila's Alp. Sheila herself isn't my favourite of the new characters in Spyro 3. That title belongs to Sergeant Bird, but in terms of actual level design, Sheila's Alp is very fun. It's very fun to just jump as high as Sheila can go to get up all the vertical cliff faces. Very fun to jump around, stomp on different enemies, jump as high as you can into hidden caves to get hidden treasure areas. So a very solid introduction to Sheila, and an amazing way to introduce our favourite high-jumping kangaroo. So Sheila's Alp goes into S tier. As for Mushroom Speedway, it's kind of small. It's not really small though, it's like somewhere in the middle when it comes to the size of Spyro flight levels. It's also a little bit basic, there's not as much interesting things in it. There's some interesting enemy designs, but in terms of the design of the level itself, it's a little bit more basic compared to some of the other flight levels. It's just a bunch of hills, grass, and mushrooms. There's a lot more going on in some of the other, in some of the other flight worlds in the Spyro Trilogy. For that reason, I can't put Mushroom Speedway into S tier, but it does definitely belong in A tier. See, there's always this one thing that keeps all of these levels from being in S tier. There's just one thing that stops these levels from being S tier. It needs to be absolute near perfect and near amazing to go into S tier, these levels. And that's why the levels I've stated are in S tier, and the ones that just have that one thing that brings them down, that results in them going into A tier, so yeah. Next up we have Buzz's Dungeon. Yes. Yeah, Buzz's Dungeon is extremely fun. Sheila getting to stop knocking Buzz into the lava, Sheila stomping on him. Buzz has some very interesting attacks. Overall, a very tense, a very thrilling, and very fun boss fight. Perfect first boss fight for the game, so I think I'm gonna put Buzz's Dungeon into S tier. Oh my god, I can never remember the names of any of the Sparks levels. Crawdad Farm, yeah, that's what it's called. Yeah, I'm not the keenest on the Spyro 3 Sparks levels. They are pretty fun though, but can be a bit infuriating to complete, but Crawdad Farm is still a pretty good level to start off Sparks' levels with, so I think I'm going to put Crawdad Farm into B tier. Next is Midday Gardens. Again, much like Sunrise Spring, Midday Gardens is not that big, but it's very peaceful, relaxing music, relaxing vibe, very beautiful landscapes and very beautiful architecture. And just a very nice, chilled out world to run around in and chill in, basically. So yeah, Midday Gardens, a brilliant world. That too can go into S tier. Icy Peak, as I've said before, I do love all the mountainous levels. They're just so fun to explore and run and glide around in. There's also some nice head bashing you can do in Icy Peak, and there's also a lot of enemies you need to watch out for, like those enemies that throw crate bombs into you. Yeah, some very interesting enemies. I think I can also put Icy Peak in S tier. Next up is Enchanted Towers. Yeah, very open, lots of gliding, which I love, which you know I love. Yeah, very open, lots of gliding, lots of nice areas to explore, lots of hidden areas, and also the skateboarding ring. The skateboarding rink is very fun to challenge Hunter in as well and rack up loads of points in. Yeah. And also Sergeant Bird's side mission where you get to fly very high as him, getting all those bones back. Again, it's very, very fun, so I think Enchanted Towers can also go into S tier. Spooky Swamp. Yeah, I've said in my unpopular Spyro Opinions video that it's probably the most lackluster world in the game. It's not that bad, but like, it's just dark, dingy, foggy, constantly raining, and some unsettling enemies like those Pinocchio-nosed wasp things I mentioned in my unpopular Spyro Opinions video. Those bloody crocodiles and piranhas as well. It's just, I just don't really enjoy Spooky Swamp that much, I'm afraid. It's not awful, but I just don't enjoy it that much, so Spooky Swamp is going to have to go into D tier. Next is Bamboo Terrace. Yeah, this one's a lot brighter. Again, a mountainous world, which I really enjoy. Interesting enemies, although there are some that shoot fireworks at you, which, of course, I don't appreciate. Again, not perfect, but still very fun, Bamboo Terrace. So, Bamboo Terrace, I think, can also go into A tier. As for Sergeant Bird's base, again, a very solid introduction to his level, to his gameplay mechanics. Getting to fly around as him is amazing. Getting to fire missiles and drop bombs as him is also very fun. Again, a very solid introduction to him and his levels, and his, like, side levels in the other worlds. So, Sergeant Bird's base can also go into S tier. Then we have Country Speedway, which is also very fun. Racing the flying pigs while hard is very fun. The side mission with Hunter and the jetpack is fun as well. Doing the normal challenge, flying around, destroying all the tractors and things is fun as well. So I think Country Speedway also belongs in S tier. There we go, we've now got an equal number of levels in A and S tier. That's about to change though, because as for Spike's Arena, yeah, Spike's a bit harder to defeat and can be very unpredictable, especially if you don't know what you're doing. But still a very fun fight, doesn't quite belong in S though, so Spike's Arena into A tier. Oh, why do I keep forgetting the names of these? Yeah, Spider Town, that's it. Yeah, Spider Town and the Sparks levels got some interesting puzzles and some interesting things to do, but as I said, I do find Sparks' levels in Year of the Dragon fun, just not that good. Yeah, fun, but not that good, once again, like the previous Sparks levels. So, Spider Town can also go into B tier. Evening Lake, a little bit more compact and a little harder to navigate than Midday Gardens and Sunrise Spring. But I do like how you get to go underwater and find some entrances to the entrance portals to the other levels. And yeah, I do like how you can find the entrance portals to some of the levels like underwater. But again, I really don't know what it is, but there's something about Evening Lake that, while is really good, just keeps me from putting it in S tier. I really don't know what it is with some of these levels. So, my instincts are telling me that again I need to put Evening Lake into A tier. Next up is Frozen Altars. Now, again, Frozen Altars, while still fun, is not the best. It can be quite hard to navigate. The enemies can be a pain in the arse in Frozen Altars. It's also a little bit smaller and a bit more claustrophobic than the other levels, but it's still kind of fun, I guess, and I do like some of the gliding you can do in Frozen Altars. But Frozen Altars is also home to the worst minigame in the whole Spyro trilogy, the Yeti boxing, which is borderline which is like, well, not impossible, but it is extremely hard. And I'm not keen on that minigame at all. So, while it is still fun, it's really not the best. So I'm going to put Frozen Altars in B tier. Because I think another thing I like about Frozen Altars is it is very beautiful and very peaceful, and the music's good at least. I think that's what enables me to put it in B rather than C. Anyway, next is Lost Fleet. Again, very large, very open, lots of space to run around in, some very, very fun mini-games, lots of hidden secret areas. Oh yeah, and the skateboarding challenge and the skateboarding race you can do in Lost Fleet is very, very fun as well. I was going to put Lost Fleet in A tier, but come to think of it, given all the other fun little side things you can do in Lost Fleet, I think Lost Fleet just about makes it into S tier. Next up is Fireworks Factory. Now, even though, as I said at the start of this video, I really don't like fireworks, the level itself is still incredible. Very tense, lots of ninjas to take down, and glide off a lot of places, and the music is just amazing in Fireworks Factory. It's just so good. So while it may be a factory of one of my most hated things of all, the level itself, I really must admit, is amazing. And even though I really hate fireworks, I do feel the need to put Fireworks Factory, because of how awesome the level itself is, in S tier. As for Charm Bridge, a little bit smaller. Mini games in this level aren't quite as fun, but it can be a little bit of a pain in the arse to navigate Charm Bridge, but it's still a very, very good world, Charm Bridge. I think Charm Bridge goes into A tier. As for Bentley's Outpost, very small, not a lot to do in it, but the small size of it does compensate for Bentley's slow speed, I guess, so I guess the small size of this world is forgivable. And it's still a very, very fun world to play, though, again, not quite one of my favourites, so Bentley's Outpost is also going to go into A. Honey Speedway, yeah, again, very fun races you can do, very fun side mission with Hunter, very fun time trial challenge as well. Again, like all the other levels, Honey Speedway is very fun. Like all the other speedways in Spyro 3, Honey Speedway is very fun, so Honey Speedway can also go in S tier. Scorch's Pit. Scorch's boss battle is kind of hard once again, but actually now that I'm remembering it, it is actually very fun, Scorch's boss fight. Yeah, it is hard, but it's still very intense and very fun. So I think Scorch's Pit is also going to go into S tier. Starfish Reef, again another Sparks level. Not the best, but still quite fun. I've already explained, so Starfish Reef into B tier. And come to think of it, the other Sparks level, Bugbot Factory, kind of hard, but still kind of fun. Bugbot Factory, I think, can also go into B tier. Yeah, all 4 Sparks levels into B tier, because, yeah, just get all those out of the way now. Midnight Mountain, clue is in the name, Midnight Mountain, it's a mountainous level, music's lovely and beautiful, the atmospheric night sky creates a really lovely atmosphere, lots of room to run and glide around in, just has all the ingredients to make it an amazing S-tier home world. So yeah, S-tier for Midnight Mountain. Crystal Islands, again, very open, lots of room to run around in, lots of fun challenges. Flight power-up enables you to fly basically all around the level. You get a great view of it, it's just absolutely incredible. So, Crystal Islands is also going to be in S tier. As for Haunted Tomb, it's large, it's open, fun to run through. It's just a little bit strange, something about Haunted Tomb just feels off and keeps me from putting it in S tier. And also another thing that stops me from putting it in S tier is the infuriating bumper car tank fight level in it. Otherwise, a very fun level. Not quite an S tier, but still a very fun level. So, Haunted Tomb, A tier. Dino Mine, kinda small, kinda compact, but still very fun. Very fun to run through and take out all the dinosaurs. Agent 9's level in it isn't the best, but it's still very fun. So, Dino Mines is also A tier. We've only got 4 to go now. Agent 9's lab. Yeah, Agent 9's probably my least favourite of the 4 new characters. Agent 9's lab really isn't the best, but it's still fun. Kind of. Not the best, but still somewhat enjoyable. I'm going to put Agent 9's lab in C tier. Would you look at that, only 2 in C tier. Now, as for Harbour Speedway, I would put it in S tier, Harbour Speedway, but it's, the flight against the albatrosses in Harbour Speedway is just so difficult. The albatrosses are just so hard to beat, and it can get rather infuriating. And for that reason, I really want to put Harbour Speedway in S tier, but I just can't because of how hard the albatross race is. So it's going in A tier. And now we're on to the final 2. The Sorceress's Lair, the boss fight against her, like Ripto's boss fight, is a very, very, very fun boss fight. Amazing way to end the game. And some very unique methods for attacking and ultimately defeating the Sorceress. So, I think the Sorceress's Lair is also going to go into S tier. And last but by no means least, we have the super bonus round. Now, because of how hard some of Spyro 3's levels are, and how infuriating some of the mini-games can be, I haven't quite gotten to super bonus round yet, but from what I've seen from what I've seen of the gameplay of it online and from what I've heard about it, it does sound very fun and very thrilling, and overall an amazing level to end not just Spyro 3, but the whole original trilogy. Yeah, the super bonus round does seem extremely fun, a very, very large level, and an amazing way to end the whole original Spyro trilogy. So we're gonna put, even though I haven't played it yet, from what I've heard about it, we're just going to automatically put the super bonus round into S tier. And that's it, that's the tier list finally complete. God, that took a lot longer than I was expecting, but we've done it. And with how many levels are in S and A tier, that should be a testament to how much I love the the original Spyro trilogy, given that the vast majority of its levels are either in S or A tier. If that doesn't tell you how much I love the Spyro games, I don't know what will. And only a small percentage are in B, C, and D tier, the least amount going in C tier. And the fact that there's none, that I didn't put any levels in F tier, again should be a testament to how much I love the Spyro games and how much Insomniac Games nailed the original PS1 trilogy, and by extension how much Toys for Bob nailed Reignited, the remaster. Yeah, there was definitely room for improvement in a lot of these levels, and with all the ones I put in A tier, there was just this one or two thing. There were just one or two things that could have been tweaked and made better about them that would have enabled them to go into S tier instead, but that's just how it is. And hey, not everything's perfect. Not everything has to be perfect to be amazing. All of the A tier levels are still amazing, even with the flaws that prevent them from being in S tier and being among my favourites. But it doesn't really matter. And the ones I put in B, C, and D tier, they all do at least have one or two. Even the ones I put in C and D tier, they do at least have one or two redeeming factors about them that stop them from being in F tier, hence why I didn't put any of these levels in F tier, but again, it just should be a testament to how much I love the original Spyro Trilogy as a whole. So yeah, that's it for my first video for Spyrovember 2024. I really hope you all enjoyed. I'm gonna put a Google Drive link to this. I'm gonna download this tier list and put it into a Google Drive link for you guys to view for yourself and share with your friends. So yeah, that's how I'd rank every single level in the original Spyro Trilogy. And that's it for this first video of Spyrovember 2025. Don't forget to download this tier list. Yeah, don't forget to download this tier list. And maybe share it with your friends. And thank you for watching the first video of Spyrovember 2025. This took a lot longer than I thought it was going to take, but it was still a very fun video to do. And I hope you all guys understand, and even if you don't agree with my opinions on these levels, I hope you can at least respect them. Let's all remain friends here. And once again, guys, thank you for watching the first video of Spyrovember 2025. I hope you're looking forward to the other videos I've got planned for this year's Spyrovember, especially the big one I've got planned at the end of the month. My top 10 things I'd like to see in Spyro 4. So, once again, guys, that's it for this video in the meantime. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. Please like, comment, share this video with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe to me, TrainLover16, if you haven't already, to stay tuned for the upcoming content, and stay tuned for the rest of Spyrovember. Also, don't forget to follow me on Instagram and Blue Sky, join my Discord server, hype this video if you can. Check out my eBay profile, go and buy my novel, The Spy and the Superdog, if you haven't already. And I will see you all in my next video. Bye bye everyone, and happy Spyrovember!